Welcome back to Skynyrd Shorts, our favorite YouTube channel. Tonight is a great episode, Joe. Tell us what the name of tonight's episode is.
It's episode 40.
40.
And we're talking about Sweet Home Alabama.
Word for word, right?
We're going to talk about the words.
Every word. What does that song
We're going to distinguish the meanings that we think.
Dissect it, right?
That we think.
But to start off with, as a part of this thing, listen to this. We got the great idea that we call Ardent Studios here in Memphis and see if we can record this episode at Ardent. Great talk with the guy at Ardent. He was super nice. And of course, you know the reason why is because the first live recording of Sweet Home Alabama was at Ardent Studios on a radio show, October 30th, 1973. I was there. First live recording. But the folks at Ardent have a media division, and they said that if we could, that one of their qualifications were they wanted shows with at least 1,000 subscribers. We have 900. So I'm going to ask each of y'all to try to find me one more subscriber. Send it to your friends who want to, be part of what we're doing and commentary and exploration of Southern music, because it's way deeper than Lynyrd Skynyrd. But please send it. Ask them to subscribe. Just hit the little button. Get us some new subscribers, and we can start doing some cooler stuff, including Graceland.
They would like to have us?
Was that not be cool? Yeah, we could do the show from Graceland right there in the Elvis Green Room or the whatever, camo room. That'd be very cool. So help us get some subscribers. Tonight's episode number 40. 40.
40.
What does that mean to you?
I don't have a meaning for 40. I mean, it's a great 40. If we're gonna go out and drink a 40, I don't know. How does that work?
I never had a 40. I mean, when I was a kid, they had tall boys, right? Or ponies.
I like ponies.
I started off on Miller Ponies. Was how I was 15, learned how to drink. I hated the taste, but we threw them at mailboxes. Anyway, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Sweet Home Alabama. Start us off. What do you want? What's the deal? Why do you want to start it?
Well, big wheels keep on turning. Carry me home to see my kin. What's he talking about? Home is south for him. It's south. It's Alabama. It's the Southland.
It's a desired place for him to be.
It's where he wants to be. It's his happy place.
Seeing his family, being around, his brothers, his father, his mother. I mean, and his friends he grew up with, the Jacksonville Five and whatever. Being home is what he wanted to do. And he's singing songs about the Southland. That's what his songs are all personal, right? His songs are all about this area we grew up in called the South.
And the people.
The people, the events, stupid stuff. I mean, singing songs about the Southland. I miss Alabama once again. Now, right here you go, he's not from Alabama. And you kind of wonder what the hell he's talking about. Because we know he's a Jacksonville guy, right? But that's just the first hint or a clue, something going on here. Now, before we jump any further, is this their greatest song ever?
It's a pretty great song.
Is it Lynyrd Skynyrd's greatest song?
Is it what turned the world on to Lynyrd Skynyrd? Possibly.
Now,
Possibly.
That's where they went from a regional band to a worldwide band, right?
This song got out, and it brought in subscribers.
It was the gem. It was, the straw that stirred the drink, I think. Is it their greatest song? You didn't answer the question.
I'm not going to say it's the greatest song. I can't pick the greatest song of anybody. But we know it's a great one.
Was I right or wrong?
I love them all. I love them all. I'm saying it's great or not great. They're all great.
They're all great.
But Sweet Home Alabama is a song you can't mistake, and it's being played probably right now somewhere else.
I miss Alabama once again, and I think it's a sin. Yes. Why is it a sin?
This is God's country, and he don't like being far away from God.
Ooh, that's pretty deep.
Well, maybe. But I think he's a pretty deep thinker.
And maybe he's sinning more when he's on the road, right?
We're not going to say that.
No, we're not going to say that. All right, so then we go to the chorus, and the chorus is, as you know, is Sweet Home Alabama where the skies are so blue. Why? What does that mean?
It's wide open country, no skyscrapers, no smog smoking up the air, nice bright sunlight and clear blue skies which we can visibly see.
Which allows him to get in his boat Go out there and throw a line, right?
That's right.
That's who he was. He wasn't no fancy guy. He wasn't going to all the fancy discos in New York City or all that. Yeah, simple guy, simple man. Maybe the greatest song ever.
It's a long list.
Ronnie's a simple man, and that's what, and really in his brain, that's what the Southern people are about, right? So anyway, so we go through that. I mean, Sweet Home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. Another biblical thing, right? So it's a sin, and now, Lord, I'm coming home to you. Again, you said it, God's country.
It's God's country.
Right? I mean, the South is God's country. It's still, I don't want to say the word virgin territory, but it hadn't been mucked up by all the crap in the big cities.
Yet.
Well, we still listen. I'm
He
still,
knows it's coming. See, Ronnie knows it's coming.
I'm still
So he
proud of the South.
He wants to enjoy it while he still can.
Yeah, I agree with that. But verse 2 is where we really start to hit it home. This is the first line of verse 2. It's, well, I heard Mr. Young sing about her. In the background, we hear, Southern Man.
Roosevelt Goop.
Al Cooper. And that's in reference to a song called Southern Man that Neil Young wrote, I think in 1970, maybe it was 71. Y'all will tell me. And it was one of the, I mean, there's so many images in that song. It's continually talking about crosses burning, and one day your cross is going to burn you back. All these kind of really negative images about the South. Listen, a lot of it's true. A lot of negative things did happen in the South. And those images, Neil Young goes really out on a limb to talk about. He really kind of says all Southern men are like this.
It's a pretty broad painting.
Which pissed off Ronnie Van Zant.
Too broad.
Well, I heard O'Neill put her down. He did. He put down the whole South because of a few idiots. You know, a few idiots, maybe more than a few. I don't know. I would say the percentage of these kind of people in the South was, I mean, the real idiots.
Well, where's Neil getting this from? Radio, TV, media? I mean, he's not getting a real picture, obviously.
And the media's based out of New York City or Los Angeles, California. There wasn't no media based out of, you know, Birmingham, Alabama, or Nashville, Tennessee, or Jacksonville, Florida. It was northern media telling us how bad we were, right? And Ronnie, well, I hope Neil Young will remember, a Southern man don't need him around anyhow. Neil Young put us down, put you and me down, right? And I love Neil Young, don't get me wrong. I love Neil Young's music. And Ronnie's just saying, the point here is, ain't all of us like that.
We don't need one guy's tunnel vision here making everyone seem negative.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, a lot of bad things happen here. We had the Selma Bridge crossing where the cops beat up the protesters. We had, oh my God, the little girls in Birmingham Church in '63, I think, that were bombed by some idiot. We had George Wallace standing on the steps of the University of Alabama saying, no, you're not coming in here. I mean, a lot of dumb things happened. But it wasn't you and me.
It wasn't the whole South.
Yeah, it wasn't you and me at all. and that's what he was saying. He said, I didn't have nothing to do with that. So why are you calling me a bad guy? That's really the point. So we go back into the chorus again. It's Sweet Home Alabama. The skies are so blue and beautiful and smog free, and I'm fishing on the river or whatever. Lord, I'm coming home to you. I mean, he says that's the chorus, and it means everything. And it's beautiful, right? So then we're going to continue talking more social commentary here in the third verse, where he starts off with, in Birmingham, they love the governor.
Loved.
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 L-O-V-E-D, the governor.
Loved.
Yep. And then what do they say?
Boo, boo, boo.
Boo, boo, boo. And that's telling us that Ronnie Van Zant don't love the governor. Or
What he's all about.
We're talking about specifically George Wallace, right? And the racist element of that. That's what he's telling us. Boo, boo, boo. Actually, the Alabama State Legislature had a hard time with that for a while. They wanted to name it the Song of Alabama, the official song. And then there were some people who said, well, wait a minute, he's booing us. No, he's booing Wallace, right? I mean, he's talking about how beautiful it is. That one guy, I'm not so sure, right? I mean,
his platform was not what we enjoyed.
yeah, he was a segregationist. I mean, he was for, equal but separate, or just separate. It's just so wrong. So we started the first verse. He just loves to come home. He loves the Southland, and I miss Alabama once again. Then he talks about Neil Young putting Alabama down, and then we go to the third verse where he gets, he talks about the governor, boo, 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 and we did all we could do, which means they were pulling a different direction. They weren't for it, right? I mean, so then he takes a shot at the North. Watergate does not bother me. Does your conscience bother you? Tell the truth. Watergate was a Nixon scandal. Nixon was not viewed as someone who was, he was not, a civil rights leader by any imagination, and they had their own scandals. And Ronnie's just saying, you people need to take care of your own stuff, right? I mean, does your conscience bother you? You big city people who were involved in all this.
And supporting him.
Yeah, absolutely. As I get the feeling that Ronnie probably was not a Republican at that time. The parties change over time, but tell the truth. You're talking about me, but it's like you're throwing stones and living in a glass house. It's not cool. We go to the chorus again. And then we hit upon the final verse, the fourth verse, right? Where he starts off, Muscle Shoals has got the Swampers. Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
They've been known to pick a song or two.
They've been known to pick a song or two. Yes, they do. And he was very familiar with that because they recorded their demos in 71. Is that when it was? 70, 71?
Yeah, everything.
And so they go in Muscle Shoals Studios, right? And there's all these stars. David Hood.
Jimmy Johnson.
I mean, you think about the folks they meet in there, and it's unbelievable. And the talent is overwhelming. Dwayne Allman's hanging around, right? I mean, it's unbelievable. Maybe Dwayne wasn't there at that point. I'm not sure. Y'all will tell me. They've been known to pick a song or two. Lord, they get me off so much. They pick me up when I'm feeling blue. Now, how about you?
Very soulful place, and
Goosebumps, right?
Yeah, very much.
I mean, even when I think about what's going on there at the time, and he really, the Swampers is not a white thing, it's not a black thing, it's a music thing. And he walks into a studio where Wilson Pickett and Dwayne Allman are having a conversation one day after lunch, and Dwayne Allman says, listen, Wilson, you need to record Let It Be. And Wilson Pickett goes, man, the Beatles just had a hit with that last year. And Dwayne Allman plays him a little slide piece that he's designed for it. And Wilson Pickett goes, oh, I think you're right. And so they record Let It Be. It's a #1 R&B record for Wilson Pickett, who was an amazing artist on his own right. But you got Aretha Franklin hanging out there. You got the Stones. You got the who's who. Cher's hanging out, right?
Possibly. Yeah, no. We know that Eric Clapton comes through there.
Yeah, I mean, it is where people wanted to be. And it's so cool. And he's just talking about how people get along and how all the races and creeds and colors and genders all come together for greatness.
Music builds relationships.
Music is not, one or the other. It's all of us. And that's what Ronnie's saying. The South is not what you think it is. It's not Jed Clappett. It's not Gomer Pyle. It's not Dukes of Hazzard. Because we're mostly good folks down here. And we're just trying to communicate that to you. And we're communicating that to you through a blockbuster of a song that's going to be heard around the world. And 50 years later, it's still heard around the world.
It's on somebody's radio right now.
Yeah, and there's somebody new discovering it. Maybe it's a tribute band going around playing it. It may, whatever. That song will never die, ever. Is it the greatest song, though?
No. We're portraying it as the greatest song, but it's one of the greatest songs.
Yeah. Ronnie was a simple man.
He was a simple man, and he had simple voices, a simple verse that's supposed to lead something.
I mean, the greatest Billy Powell solo.
Very nice piano.
Even on the fade out, it's amazing. The Billy Powell stuff. If you didn't know him from the first record and things going on, whatever, you got him right here. It's absolutely. Is it the best Billy Powell solo? I don't know. I think it is. I think it may be.
He does some good stuff, man.
It's Ed King, Gary Rossenden. Probably Ed King had the idea, from what I can tell. And then Gary Rossenden.
They bounced off. Their two guitars he bounced off each other.
Yeah.
As far as Ed King's verses were, I bounced this off Gary Strat or whatever, and it just.
Now Ed King
had a dream about it.
Did have the dream about the solo, the off-key solo, that Al Cooper said, "No, that's the wrong key," and I goes, "No, I think it's the right one." And Ronnie goes, "Dude dreamed it."
It's got to be right.
Got to be right. So that's how it got to be in this song. Interesting story though. The song was recorded in '73 as part at the very end of the Pronounce sessions. They had finished the Pronounce recording, and then they'd come up with this other song. And I guess Al was somewhere else. He was in New York or something. And Ronnie calls him, right? Hey, you got to get down here. We got to record this stuff right now. And Al goes, "Oh, we'll do it the next record." No, right now while it's hot. Right now we got to record it.
But when Al Cooper heard it, you know what he said? It's a #1 smash, boys.
They went to Doraville, right? It's a Studio One.
Studio
One in Doraville, the famous. We need to record it one there. That'd be cool.
That would be neat.
That we get Kevin Elson to come in. That'd be very fun, right? Cool and stuff. So, why wasn't it on the first record?
Just didn't have time to get it on there.
The pressing had already started.
It was just too late. I think, as far as we know.
He had already given a copy. Al Cooper had already given a copy to Peter Rudge to get him on the Who tour, right? So it was already done. So that thing was in the can, which is why it was played along with other 3 songs in 1973, October 30th, at Ardent Studios in Memphis for the radio broadcast. Sweet Home Alabama.
Do you want to do a what if?
What if what?
What if it made Pronounced? What changes if it's on the Pronounced album? What's your views on that? What's your thoughts on that?
Wow.
It could be a movie in itself.
We should write a movie, right? And it could be Lynyrd Skynyrd, and that happens. So the first record, and their first record goes crazy right off the bat. What does that do to the band?
Everything changes. I don't know. I mean, that's interesting thoughts, and we never know what could have. I hate to talk about could have, would have, should have.
Well, in my movie, Ronnie Van Zant does leave the band in 1980, 79 or 80, to start his own career, touring the country with Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings, right? And Merle's still out at that time. Wouldn't that have been awesome? I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's do an episode on what we think the first Ronnie Van Zant solo record looks like. Hey, that's coming up. Now we're going to book it. We're going to book it. It's going to be the Ronnie Van Zant solo tour. That'd be a lot of fun. But I don't know what would happen.
Interesting thought. But it's all speculation, and we could make it however we wanted to go.
Wow,
it's all just history now.
Oh, yeah. I know. That'd be fun. Sweet Home Alabama, maybe the greatest song by Lynyrd Skynyrd. Not their best. Because we all know what the best is. It's got to be I Never Dreamed, right? No?
Or Simple Man.
Was I what wrong?
Tuesday's Gone.
Yeah, I know.
Or
I know.
Four Walls of Rayford.
I Ain't the One still kind of.
I Ain't the One is pretty good.
I love that. So anyway, thank y'all so much for listening and joining in the comments. As you know, I reply to the comments as quickly as I can. Joe does sometimes too.
Well, rarely, but I do.
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't. It's a lot of fun.
You know, we're talking Neil Young too in Canada, and you know what? Canada's a beautiful country. All right, we're never going to put Canada down.
I don't know. I don't like it.
I've got some friends who are fans of our show who brought some pictures back from Canada. Some of the most beautiful shots I have ever seen. That place is awesome.
I don't know about that. I don't think I like Canadians that much. But
well, we didn't say Canadians. We said we said the green grass and blue sky.
That's all right. I'm a big Neil Young fan, so I was just joking about that. So anyway, anything else about Sweet Home Alabama? Maybe the greatest song?
Sweet Home Alabama.
Alabama.
Isn't that hard to say 3 times?
Yes. Unbelievable. Thank you, Ronnie Van Zant, for that beautiful song. Thank you for defending all of us Southern boys and girls, because we ain't that bad and we ain't no Jan Clampett. So until next time, do you have anything else?
Thank you very much, Ronnie Van Zant, and your brilliant brain.
We love you, Ronnie, and we'll see you next time here on our favorite YouTube channel, Skynyrd Shorts.
Thank you.